Swaraj of the BJP leading in New Delhi, Basavaraj Bommai trailing in Haveri, Bhupinder Yadav in Alwar in Rajasthan is currently leading, C.R. Patil leading quite naturally in Navsari, Charanjit Singh Channi on the reserved seat of Jalandhar is currently leading. This is a traditional Congress bastion. Bhupesh Baghel in Rajnandgaon, he was complaining about EVMs and how they'd been switched. He's currently leading in Chhattisgarh's Rajnandgaon. C.N. Manjunath up against D.K. Shivkumar D.K. Shivkumar's brother, D.K. Suresh in Bangalore rural is currently trailing. Deepender Huda in Rohtak is currently leading. Dharmendra Pradhan in Sambalpur in western Orissa is leading. Gaurav Gogoi in Jorhat in Assam is leading. Hanuman Beliwal is leading in Nagaur. Giriraj Singh in Begusarai on the BJP's ticket is leading. Gajendra Shekhawat in Jodhpur is leading. Dimple Yadav in Mainpuri is leading. In Rajgarh, Digvijay Singh now trails. Dharmendra Yadav, Akhilesh's cousin in Azamgarh is leading. D.K. Suresh is leading in Bangalore rural. G. Kishan Reddy, Minister of State for Home, is leading. Harsimrat Kaur Badal now leads in Bathinda. H.D. Kumaraswamy in Mandya on a JDS ticket is leading. Hema Malini in Mathura is leading. Jagdambika Pal in Domariaganj is trailing. Jagdish Shettar in Belgaum is leading. Jitin Prasad in Pilibhit on a BJP ticket is trailing at this moment. K.S. Ishwarappa in Shimoga is trailing. Kangana Ranaut is leading, Kanhaiya Kumar is trailing, Khani Modi is leading, K.C. Venugopal now leading, Lokit Chatterjee is leading on a BJP ticket, Hooghly Kirti Azad is leading, Kiran Rijiju, Arunachal West is leading. It is very, very exciting, Rajdeep, this.
It is getting exciting, and I just wanted to know, to add to the excitement, can you give me a breakdown, Rahul? I think we can see it on the right of your screens, of 289 and 221 of the India Alliance. Who are the, when you say NDA 289 and when you say India 221, can you give me a breakdown?
I can do that, and since it was mentioned that the Prime Minister was trailing, I now want to mention that in Varanasi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now leading.
Which is not surprising. We expect him to win, but margins may come down.
Mehbooba Mufti in Anantnag Rajouri is trailing on a PDP ticket. Misa Bharti is trailing in Patliputra against Ram Kirpal Yadav. Naveen Jindal in Kurukshetra at this moment is trailing in Chhindwara. Nakul Nath on that Congress bastion of Chhindwara, he's currently trailing. Nitin Gadkari is leading in Nagpur. Nityanand Rai is trailing in Udaipur. Pappu Yadav in Purnia on an independent candidate is leading. Piyush Goyal in Mumbai North is leading. Parneet Kaur in Patiala, Captain Amrinder's wife on a BJP ticket, still trailing. Prajwal Revanna is now trailing in Hassan. Prajwal Revanna is trailing in Hassan. Purushottam Rupala in Rajkot is leading. Prahlad Joshi in Dharwad, he is leading. Rahul Gandhi is leading in Wayanad. Rajiv Chandrasekhar in Trinavantapuram is trailing. Rajnath Singh, the defense minister, is leading in Lucknow. Raj Babbar in Gurgaon is leading. In Saran, Rajiv Pratap Rudy on a BJP ticket is trailing. Ravi Kishan in Gorakhpur is leading. Ravi Shankar Prasad at this moment in Patna Sahib is behind. Sangeeta Deo in Bolangir is leading. Sanjeev Balian in Muzaffarnagar is trailing. Shivraj Singh Chauhan in Vidisha is leading. Somnath Bharti is trailing in New Delhi. Smriti Irani trailing in Amethi. Shrikant Shinde, Eknath Shinde's son in Kalyan is trailing. Now this is interesting as well. Shrikant Shinde, the Chief Minister's own son, trailing in Kalyan.
Can you give us, Rahul, that breakdown of parties?
Okay, here it is. 290 leads for the NDA, down 53 seats from the last time. The BJP at 242. Not close to 272 at this moment. We have 541 leads, only 2 seats from where we don't have leads. The BJP still quite short, at least 30 short of the majority mark. The Janata Dal United is at 7, Apna Dal is at 1, 290 leads for the NDA, down 90. The India is having a good morning. 102 leads, century for the Congress at this moment in the lead. Samajwadi Party is the story of the election, currently leading on 33. The Trinamool leading on 21. The opposition will say, see, we told you so. All these were Modi's fantasy polls just at least at this moment.
No, look, if these polls hold, if these numbers hold, it clearly shows none of the exit pollsters have got it right. And in fact, the reporters who are saying it's a tighter contest have done better place than the exit pollsters. So sometimes there's a difference between reporters and exit pollsters. As of now, if these numbers hold, I won't have to do a dance, because the dance is done only when we get our polls spot on. I'm very happy not to dance and have all the mithai that you want to serve. Both sides can send me laddu and chole bhature. But Rahul, what we are seeing in this election is clearly a change in the map of the country. What was the map of the country in the last two elections?
I can show that to
2014 and 19, BJP dominated North and West.
Okay, let
now
me
you've got them becoming competitive.
We worked really hard on the election intelligence dashboard, And the power of the election intelligence dashboard only comes alive if it's a tight election. No matter who wins or loses, we've got no skin in the game. But this is where the power of the elections come in.
Raul, can I join you there for a moment?
Yes, please do. So this
because
is,
I just want to, I think this is the story of the election
on
so
one
far.
side of the screen is the 2019 results. You see how that's now changing. Where are the changes happening, Rajdeep? The changes are happening in Rajasthan. Don't touch the screen, it will jump. So the changes are happening in Rajasthan. Massive changes in Uttar Pradesh. Changes also in Maharashtra. Yes.
You see, if you look at 2014, Rahul, if you look at 2014 and 19, this entire stretch, all the way from Goa to Jharkhand, across Bihar, the Hindi heartland, right up to Himachal Pradesh was completely saffron. Now when you look at it in 2024, take a look at how the change is taking place. You're seeing blue emerging gradually across the Hindi heartland and in Western India. So what was a northwest monsoon in 2019 is now less of it. It's less intense. It is still the BJP's advantage because of the Chhattisgarh, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. There the BJP continues to dominate. How is the BJP being saved? Take a look at what is happening across the eastern coast of the country, Rahul. Here, if you see, this was dominated by others, parties like Jagan Mohan Reddy, Biju Janata Dal, TRS last time. Now there's a saffron edge to Odisha, to Telangana, down into parts of Andhra Pradesh. So the NDA is actually, you know, the map of India has changed. The map which was northwest dominated of saffron is being saved possibly by peninsular India as of now if these numbers
hold. And there
hold.
are serious reverses in the initial trends for the BJP in Rajasthan. There are massive reverses in Uttar Pradesh, major reverses in Haryana as well, and surprisingly reverses in Gujarat also. These are initial trends, but these would have BJP leaders, workers, karyakartas quite perturbed.
You know, that's what I said. This election is seeing a rotation of the map, and it can, you know, it doesn't happen too often. What is happening in your own bastions, you're losing out and you're finding new areas of growth. For the India Alliance, on the other hand, where they got their alliance arithmetic right, they've done well. Plus, the Congress actually is competing with the BJP in some direct contest, which never happened in 2014 and 19. So that's the real swing taking place.
Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool would love this. In the leads that we have so far, the Trinamool is leading on 21, one ahead of the BJP. BJP leading on 20. The battle here was who will be ahead. Trinamool thought they'll be at least a little ahead.
This will go to the wire. This will go to the wire.
Everything is going to go to the wire.
What it does suggest, and I've said this before, Rahul, that there are certain regional leaders who you can't write off so easily. They remain, you know, Naveen Patnaik obviously has exhausted himself, it appears, as of now. Though in the assembly it's tight. If you can show me the Odisha assembly, you'll find it's tight.
I'm going to do that in a moment. Pawan Khera is speaking at the moment. The Congress has got its mojo back. Let's listen to what Pawan Khera is saying.
देखें तो जो आंकलन दिए जा रहे थे उसके विपरीत हरियाणा में काफी अच्छा प्रदर्शन आप लोग कर रहे हैं।
इससे भी बेहतर होगा, अभी 1-2 घंटे और इंतजार कीजिए।
शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए। पवन खेरा यहाँ पे कहते हुए कि उनको पूरा इस बात का विश्वास।
Telangana, the NDA is improving its performance in the 17 seats of Telangana. Currently, the BJP has 9 leads, up 5 from the last time. The Congress has 5 leads up to the BRS, and Telangana has crashed down 7 seats from the last time. If we go now, I want to go to some key battleground states. So let's go for a moment to Kerala as well. On the 20 seats of Kerala, the Congress currently has, the UDF has 18, the NDA has 1. The NDA has 1 seat, which is Thrissur. The UDF has 18, which is kind of where they were. The last time out of these 14 are the Congress, 2 are IUML. Kerala Congress is 1. The LDF, the CPM, has 1 lead currently. From there, let's go to Odisha, where the exit polls are predicting one-way traffic in favor of the BJP. It is still quite that way. 17 for the BJP, 2 for the BJD. That's down 10. So in Odisha, the exit polls, at least at this moment, don't seem to be wrong. From there, let's head to Rajasthan, because it's in Rajasthan that we are seeing major changes. In Rajasthan, out of the 25 seats in Rajasthan, the NDA has 13 down 11. The Congress is leading on 11, up 10. Out of this, the ally RLP has won. The Congress is 9. Congress leading on Bardmer, Bharatpur, Churu, Dausa, Ganganagar, Jaipur Rural, Junjunu, Karauli, Dholpur, Nagaur, Sikar and Tonk. Those are the leads that the Congress has in Rajasthan. Let's also go to Haryana. In the Hindi heartland, Congress getting some good trends to hold on to. 6 leads for the Congress, 4 for the NDA. The Congress has 5, AAP has 1. Ambala, Gurgaon, Kurukshetra, Rohtak, Sirsa and Sonipat. From there, just for a moment, let's go across to Jammu and Kashmir. Always interesting to see what's happening in Jammu and Kashmir. Elections returning to Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of 370. The BJP leading on Jammu and in Udhampur. The India Alliance is leading on 2, out of which one is Srinagar, the other is Anantnag Rajouri. Those are the leads, Rajdeep, from Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay, let's, Pawan Khera speaking to Maushmi Singh now in English. Let's listen in for a very quick moment.
Including Varanasi, where the Prime Minister is struggling on his own seat, 2 rounds, and he was trailing, and now he's leading by 600 odd votes. That suggests that I think the BJP and all its ecosystem, including a lot of national media, failed to read what's happening. I remember last 2-3 days ago, one channel, an anchor said that why are we wasting our time on the opposition? They don't matter. Well, I hope that anchor is listening to what I'm saying and what the people of India are saying.
Thank you very much for talking to us. That was Pawan Khera responding to the initial trends that are pouring out as far as the Lok Sabha results are concerned. With video journalist Satya Rotre, this is Maushmi Singh in Delhi for India Today.
Well, if these numbers hold, exit pollsters will have a lot to answer for. Clearly, each and every exit pollster has got this poll wrong if these numbers hold. And I keep adding if because we've just had a couple of rounds that have been polled so far. Counting also has been slow because there has been checking and rechecking that's taking place. There is a lot of confusion in different parts of the country where candidates who are trailing want a recount even round by round. So you will see these numbers potentially changing at the moment. But Preeti, you've got a story to tell us from Rajasthan, a state that you traveled extensively through. And at the moment, as per the numbers that you had shown us, the Congress is actually leading the BJP in Rajasthan 13-11, am I right?
Well, it's now gone even keel, so they are now practically at the same. But yes, I went to Rajasthan, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, Rajdeep, and I thought when I came back, I went to a very different election than what most people were talking of. And all these 3 states are seeming to at least turn on what they were the last time around.
See, about Rajasthan, this is also success of state Congress that Govind Singh Dotasra, who's a Jat, and tried to mobilize. No, there were candidates who were not willing. In Jujuru and Dausa, people were not willing to contest.
Let's turn to the 4 swing states. There were swing states that I called, which I believe would decide who stood where. One was Karnataka. Remember, last time Karnataka was a sweep for the BJP, 25 out of 28. What is it this time? 16 NDA and India 12. So it's tightened there. It's a tight race in Karnataka. The margin is very low. It's a gain of 11 for India in Karnataka. Let's turn to the next swing state, the state of Maharashtra. BJP had won 41 out of 48, or NDA. What is it looking like this time? 25-20. It's tightened there in Maharashtra. So that's a loss of 12 for the NDA there, a gain of 20. Let's turn to the next swing state and the biggest state in the country that is really throwing up the result at the moment of 2024. Look at this result. This is the result of 2024 at 10 a.m. in the morning. The one that could change, but for now is clearly a signal. No 400 par. 37 to the NDA, 41 to India Alliance. Who would have thought this, that India Alliance would actually pull ahead? Most people said 40 or 35, but the NDA would be ahead. This time, it looks like Uttar Pradesh is turning out to be the Ulta Pradesh of this election. Let's turn to the next swing state, the state of Bihar. Remember, Bihar last time was another state that was swept by the NDA, 39 out of 40. What's it showing? 25 plays 13. Tejaswi Yadav, the superstar at the moment of Bihar politics, 265 rallies, more than anyone else, 13. But the NDA holding its own in terms of being ahead 2-1, down only 8. Not as bad as Uttar Pradesh. 2 more swing states, the state of West Bengal. Remember, Mamata Banerjee is fighting for her political life there literally, because she's got an assembly election in 18 months from now. BJP 17, TMC now 23. Mamata pulling ahead, and I can tell you that she said exit pollsters will have to apologize if she turns out to be ahead of the BJP. So we'll see how that plays out there. But the other one is Odisha. And the story of this election is BJP not doing so well in the Hindi heartland, but growing in new parts. 17. Look at this remarkable performance by the BJP. BJD down to 2. India Alliance, the Congress leading in 2. Finally, Telangana, which also will tell you how the election is shifting. Here you've got the NDA 10. Remember, Congress ruled government, BJP had 4 last time. It's a gain of 6. So the BJP is gaining Telangana, Odisha, and finally Andhra Pradesh. Is this Chandrababu Naidu, CBN, back in form? Out of the 25 seats here, NDA leading in 21, up 18. So you look at these states, the losses that they are taking, a big hit in Uttar Pradesh, in Maharashtra, in to some extent Bihar, is being compensated by Andhra Pradesh. They're leading in 18, YSRCP, and they're losing in the assembly as well. So Rahul, we've got a new map of India. It's the east, which is the lotus is being saved by the east when it's losing out in the north.
What's most important is we work
I'm getting a bit of a heart attack with the noise, so
not with the numbers, na.
I need to sit.
They will say that maybe it's a heart attack with the numbers. No,
numbers are not a heart attack. I can live with all numbers.
The fact is that the election intelligence dashboard just took so much effort to bring alive. And if it had been one-way traffic, it would have been no fun.
Remarkable.
Yeah, the moment it... What is remarkable?
To you and your team at the dashboard.
No, so we'll still hold our horses, but if you want insights, no matter where you are in this country, this is commentary on what's happening at this moment. Nothing and no one can provide you the kind of insights that the India Today election intelligence dashboard can do in live, real time. 289 leads for the NDA, 54 down from the last time. The BJP at this moment only at 243 leads. They're struggling even to get to 272. The Janata Dal United at 7. The Apna Dal not leading on any. The India Alliance is leading on 223. That's 96 up from the last time. The Congress is hitting 100 at this moment. The big story is the Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav rampaging in Uttar Pradesh with 34. The Trinamool at 24. If I go region by region and give you a quick sense of what's happening in the north, the NDA is down 37 seats. The India Alliance is up 41 seats. 59 versus 59. Close battle in the north. From there, let's now come to the east of India. In the eastern part of India, of the 142 seats, the NDA is leading on 81, the India Alliance on 53, the India Alliance up 21 seats in the east of India. From there, let's now come to the west of India. In the western part of India, on the 143 seats, 99 for the NDA. That's 27 down from the last time in western India. The India Alliance is at 40, that's 26 up from the last time. The Congress itself has 22. From there, let me now come to the south. In the southern part of the country, NDA at 50, 16 up from the last time. The India Alliance at 78 up from the last time. Last, let me come to the Hindi heartland. In the Hindi heartland, 143, 54 down from the last time at this moment. The NDA, the India Alliance is at 79, up 66 from the last time. The BJP 128, JDU 7, India Alliance 79, out of which the Congress has 31 seats in the Hindi heartland out of 226.
And just what you said just now is also a story. JDU contested 16, is leading only in 7. So the JDU is the one, as we expected. Nitish Kumar is on the decline. He's taking a hit in Bihar. So it's not so much the BJP in Bihar, it's the NDA and the JDU in particular.
The big story is the Congress's vote share. The exit polls predicted that the Congress's vote share would be 21 or so. At this moment, of the votes that have been counted, the Congress's vote share is almost 9% more than the exit polls had polled. The exit polls did get the BJP vote share right, 40.2, so which is roughly where it is. The big story is the turnaround in the Congress's fortunes. So the BSP crashing down to 2.2.
Rahul, one point. While mentioning the exit poll today is not that happy a thing, but one data point that the exit polls had given is that the 18 to 35 group in BJP-ruled states were moving away from the BJP. That seems to be playing out.
Yeah, the 18 to 35, the youth.
And Rahul talking about Congress vote share increasing, I think some credit should be given to Rahul Gandhi for Bharat Jodo Yatra. That is
No,
been
if this is it,
instrumental in-
Rashid, then all the credit. If this holds, then all the credit
No,
goes
let's
to
not give
Rahul
it to
Gandhi.
just the Yatra.
If
Give
this
it to
holds,
the
then
Congress and
yes,
Rahul
then it's
Gandhi.
the Congress.
So it
Yes.
is Rahul Gandhi who's taken this
Yes,
message all
absolutely.
over.
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to look
If
at
these numbers hold.
Yeah.
I want to look at the heat map. It gives you a sense of the trends. Remember, now you're at a sample much bigger than any post-poll study. Of the votes that have been counted, the NDA has 50% plus votes on 124 seats, 40 to 50% votes on 111 seats, 30 to 40% votes on 48 seats, 20 to 30% votes on 26 seats, less than 20% votes on 34 seats. If I look at the India Alliance, this is called a vote density map. The darker the colors, the more the weights they're getting there. The India Alliance has 100 seats where they're 50% plus votes, 120 seats where they're 40 to 50, 62 seats where they're 30 to 40. If I do now a comparison of how these parties are playing, it will give you a sense of which seats are competitive. Okay, just bear with me for a moment as I explain this. So any seat which is 40% plus, these seats are still in the fight. Seats where the NDA or the India Alliance is not doing well, those are seats which are 40% and lower. So there are 58 seats where the NDA is only between 25 and 40. The India Alliance is 82 seats. But the bulk of the seats, the bulk is here, 40 and above. So if you see, it's very competitive. This election is still very competitive. The way to read this data is, the moment either side starts dominating seats which are 50% plus or 40% plus, you know that the election is moving in that direction.
And if I may just add, Shankar, when you look at those numbers, last time we had said it was 224 where they were 50% plus, and the other side was less than 50 where it had 50% plus. That has doubled and they have halved. So effectively, the NDA vote share in these key in many of their dominant seats has halved. It's a turnaround. You know, it's seats where you won by a big margin, you're losing this time. It's almost as if there's anti-incumbency of different kinds. Anti-incumbency against sitting MPs in north and west, anti-incumbency against sitting MPs in the eastern coast of the country. It just shows, ये जनता है, ये public है, ये सब जानती है. Exit pollster छोड़ो, public पे विश्वास करो.
अच्छा, इतना जल्दी मत छोड़ो.
No. Public is speaking,
madam. But the key thing to look at is that this election is intensely competitive at this moment. Different rounds of counting have happened in different seats. You look over here, 40 and above. This election still has these alliances quite close to each other. It's not as if the NDA is running away with this election. The India Alliance is very much in the fray. If I look at the seats where the margin calculator, I'm going to call upon my margin calculator and tell you seats where the margin between the leading candidate and the runner-up is less than 5,000. 317 such seats. The NDA leading on 162 of them, the India Alliance on 137. The India Alliance has 58 leads from the last time. 56 for the Congress, 15 for the Samajwadi Party, 16 for the Trinamool. In any case, no matter how this ends, Rashid Saab, the Congress will think they're in with a chance. 5 years from now, elections and politics will be more competitive because this is not proving to be a 400 par election.
Absolutely, Rahul. I think it's an extraordinary journey on the part of Congress. Here was Congress were written off by almost everyone. And they got into the act, Bharat Jodo Yatra, plus alliances, plus Mallikarjun Kharge's experience. Only thing they lacked, I think, in the eastern part, because if they had some kind of alliance in Andhra and in Odisha, things would have been very, very different.
You know, the fact at the moment is, I've often said Mumbai is also a bellwether city. Look at what Mumbai has done. In 2014, 6-0 to the NDA. 2019, 6-0 to the NDA. And the NDA got clear majorities, Rahul, both the time. This time in Mumbai, it's 3-all. And 3-3 reflects what's happening across the country, that the election has got tightened. And it is...
3-3 is like 1998, actually.
That's right. Very much, you're absolutely right, Shankar. What we used to see in the 90s were elections where even in Mumbai, election would be seat by seat. What we are seeing in 2024, effectively seat by seat, when the Prime Minister of the country also is leading only by 1,000 or 1,500 votes at the moment, when you've got Nitin Gadkari leading by 750 votes, it shows even heavyweights are struggling at the moment.
There is a very interesting data set I want to show our viewers for the first time. This is called a Stronghold calculator. Stronghold are those seats which a particular party has won in every election for the last 3 elections. If I look at a Stronghold scanner, the NDA at this moment is trailing on 20 Stronghold seats. When you start trailing in your Strongholds, it means the match at this moment is not going well for you. Seats which No, all are BJP seats which the BJP has won in every election for the last 3 elections. They're trailing on 20 such seats at the moment. The Congress is leading on 12 seats, SP on 2. So the Congress's stronghold scanner is actually much better. The Congress leading on 12 seats which they've held in every election for the last 3 elections. The Congress is doing better in its fewer strongholds than the NDA. What I can do is give you a strike rate. At this moment, the NDA's strike rate is 53%. They're leading on 53% strike seats. The India Alliance strike rate is 41. 289 versus 222. If I look at the direct fights, now this is interesting. In the direct fights, there are 149 seats, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment where the fight is BJP versus Congress. Either BJP is one or Congress is one. Out of those, the BJP is leading 72. But there are 28% seats, 41 seats where the Congress also is leading. In the last 2 elections, the Congress got hammered at the hands of the BJP. This time, 3 out of those 10 seats, they seem to be doing well. In BJP versus TMC, where BJP is one or TMC is one, 18% to the BJP, 82 to the Trinamool. So that means that the Trinamool in a direct BJP-Trinamool battle is doing well. Let's look at BJP versus BSP in seats where BJP and BSP, okay, there are not too many seats and BJP is leading those. In BJP versus SP seats, 55 for the SP, 45% to the BJP. This is a big story. Akhilesh Yadav, his father was a wrestler. In that bout that's going on with the BJP at this moment, leading on 30 seats where the fight is directly SP versus BJP.
And you know, he has gone where his father didn't go. His father focused on Muslim Yadav combined. Akhilesh decided, Pichli, Dalit, Alpsankhyak, create a new kind, Pichla, Dalit, Alpsankhyak, create a new equation, PDA. It seems to be working, but we have to go toward hot air. Hot seat, cool air. Hot seat, cool hawa. My daughter who's watching the channel is telling me, please don't get overexcited, you're going to get a heart attack. I'm not getting a heart attack, my dear, but let's go to hot seat, cool hawa. I need some cool hawa. First, cool hawa is not so cool at the moment for Smriti Irani, because this could be the turnaround. She defeated Rahul Gandhi 5 years ago. This time, Kishori Lal Sharma, chosen virtually from nowhere, has spent his life in politics in Amethi, is leading at the moment. So Smriti Irani facing a real challenge, and it's a sign of the time. We go to neighboring Rai Bareli. Rahul Gandhi is clearly getting a cool day. He's had a tough time in the last 10 years. This is Rahul Gandhi's at the moment day out. He's winning both in Rai Bareli and Wayanad, and he's leading there. New Delhi, which is where I vote at the moment, is where Basuri Swaraj is taking on Somnath Bharti. Remember, Somnath Bharti said he would shave his head off if the exit polls were...
Well, he's close to shaving his head off.
But at the moment, Basuri Swaraj is leading, but in his constituency. Northeast Delhi, interesting constituency, Kanhaiya Kumar versus Manoj Tiwari. At the moment, it is Manoj Tiwari who could be poised for a hat-trick of victories there in the Northeast. Let's turn to Baramati, which is really a hot seat, cool hawa. If there's any seat which is truly hot and hotter than where I'm sitting at the moment, that's Baramati. And at the moment in Baramati, it is Supriya Sule who is leading. So close to where Shankar lives in Pune, at the moment Supriya Sule is winning the battle of the Pawars versus Sunetra Pawar. Is there any more hot seat left? Trivandrum, Tiruvananthapuram is a hot seat, like where I'm sitting again. Cool hawa is coming to Rajiv Chandrasekhar. 2 seats at the moment, Thrissur, Suresh Gopi, and there in Tiruvananthapuram, Rajiv Chandrasekhar could be one of the giant killers of this election. Then we turn to Mandi in Himachal Pradesh. Kangana Ranaut, hot seat, cool hawa, as my director keeps reminding me, is there between Kangana Ranaut and Vikramaditya Singh, son of the late Veerbhadra Singh. Kangana Ranaut is leading at the moment. Good day out for the actors. Suresh Gopi, Raj Babbar, Kangana Ranaut, but Arun Govil. Even Ram sometimes cannot save you. You can act as Ram, but you've got to be Ram.
So I want to pull out the margin calculator. The margin calculator tells you the gap between the candidate who's leading and the candidate who's runner-up on those seats. So if you look at the margin calculator, I'm looking now at extremely close fights where the gap between the party that's leading and the party that's runner-up is less than 1,000 votes. There are 201 such seats out of 543. Out of these, the NDA is leading on 107, down 16 from the last time. The BJP has 95 leads. The India Alliance is 83, up 31. What this means is These 201 seats can switch anyway. These are insanely, intensely close battles that are currently on these 201 seats. If I go on the other spectrum of the margin calculator, there are only 10 seats where the margin is now more than 1 lakh votes. 8 of those are for the BJP, all of them to the BJP. India Alliance only 1 seat, which is the Congress, which is Khammam, where the margin is already more than 1 lakh votes. If I look at seats where the margin is more than 50,000 votes, these are seats that have relatively settled. NDA leading on 27, India Alliance on 9. If I come now to seats where the margin is less than 5,000, which means they're still in contest, 278 such seats, 146 for the NDA, 116 for the India Alliance, up 46 the India Alliance.
What's the margin there, you said, Rahul, in these seats?
No, 5,000. These are seats where the margin,
as of now,
at this moment,
is less than 5,000.
At this moment.
You've got 146 playing 116. So this result could go either way. Either NDA could pull up, or
Correct.
India Alliance catches up. Both possibilities exist now.
The seats which are closest fought are where the margin is currently less than 1,000 votes, because that can literally, as the rounds of polling happen,
But even 5,000 is nothing in a Lok Sabha
5,000 in a
election.
Lok Sabha is very little. So 100 leads for the NDA on seats where so on 100 seats, out of the 293 you see on your screen, there are 100 seats where the NDA's lead is very slender. Out of the 217 seats or 219 seats you see for the India Alliance, there are 79 seats where the lead is very slender. This is a very exciting match that's going on. Rajat Sethi, 400 par doesn't seem to be happening this morning.
Only Brian Lara could go 400 par. And Rajiv Gandhi, of course, politically.
Slog overs are left, Rahul. I still believe in slog overs. 6 छक्के पड़ेंगे एक ओवर में गेम इधर का उधर हो जाएगा. We've come out of IPL season. So enjoy your breakfast, everybody. Have your teas and just wait.
You know, the worst thing about the IPL finals this time was it was so one-sided.
Yeah.
At least this is not a one-sided match. It's exciting.
And the exit poll, because my uncle in Goa wanted to know what he lives in Goa and sort of votes in Goa. Viriato Fernandez is leading at the moment of the Congress over Pallavi Dempo. Remember, Pallavi Dempo was brought in as an outsider, many people thought, in Goa. Of course, comes from the Dempo family, but was not in politics. Was brought in there, woman candidate. We've not had a woman winner in Goa in an election since the late Shashikala Kakodkar. But at the moment, Viriato Fernandez is leading. So my uncle there, Mr. Sardesai, I've given you that result. And Shripad Naik, dominant as always, leading Ramakant Khalap in North
I created a visualization which I didn't think we'd need to use. This is called the roots of power. You know, we used to do it. Dr. Roy used to do it back in the day. I thought it wouldn't be required, but here it is. The BJP has 244. By itself, the BJP isn't close to 272 yet. The TDP has 15. The Eknath Sena has 7. The Janata Dal United of Nitish Kumar has 7. The LJP of Ramvilas Paswan has 5. The JDS has 2. The RLD 1. JSP 1. So the BJP by itself at this moment short of majority. The NDA has crossed the majority mark, 294. The India Alliance is at 200 and 219. And Congress is at 100. Samajwadi Party at 33. Trinamool at 23. DMK at 20. RJD at 8. NCP Sharad Pawar doing very well at 7. Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena at 5. CPM at 4. AAP at 4. NC at 2. CPI at 2. IUML at 2. This is a much more evenly placed battle than would have been thought.
And UBT Shiv Sena not doing as well. Sharad Pawar has contested 10 seats. This is his best performance if he's taken ever. You see, if he wins 7 out of 10, that's a 70% strike rate. Doing very well. UBT. But can you tell me who the 31 others? At some stage, Rahul, can we even get a sense of the others, or will that take some time?
TMC is in others, but they put TMC in India Alliance.
We put TMC in the alliance.
Okay,
You know, they were India Alliance. We treated them as an India Alliance.
Purple color. Others are in purple color.
So the others, I have them. 9 are independent, 5 are AIDMK, 4 is YSRCP, 2 is Shiromani Akali Dal, 2 is AIMIM, 2 is BJD, 1 is BRS. That's the way one is SKM, 1 is ZPM. So that's the way the others are. The others at this moment are in the purple at the bottom of your screen.
Rahul, in those others, and Rajat is saying he's been doing a survey there which showed that AIDMK is winning 5. You know, don't write out
Only voice when it came
So
to
what
Tamil
explains
Nadu.
that? What are you
So, see, there was anti-incumbency wave A, B, BJP's alliance equations were wrong, and in Kongu Nadu belt, where the Gounder votes are there, you were seeing maximum, resurgence of ADMK suddenly.
Let's actually spend.
Could be from the Congo belt. Which are
Congo
those
belt,
spices?
yes. So
Yeah, let's just look at that.
Karur, the Erode, and
correct
those
me if
kinds
I'm
of
wrong. Last time, 39 out of 39 to the 38 out of 39. 38 out of 39. O. Paneerselvam's son was the only victor from the other side. This time, India Alliance in Tamil Nadu is leading in 34. AIDMK leading in 5. NDA 0. Now here we had predicted, opinion polls said BJP will win 4, 6. We were talking about BJP's role. On the other hand, the BJP could be creating a slice of history, Rahul, not in Tamil Nadu, but in Kerala. Because at the moment, NDA is leading in 2 in Kerala, and the 2 other seats, they had their best chance in Thrissur. Suresh Gopi taking over from the CPI and K. Muralidharan, the son of Karnakaran, contesting from there against him. And Thiruvananthapuram, where Rajiv Chandrasekhar is leading as of now, small margin, but leading over Shashi Tharoor.
The story that's emerging is the story that's coming from rural India, ladies and gentlemen. Out of the 343 seats classified as rural, where more than 60% of the people live in rural areas, the India Alliance is up 70 seats from the last time. 136 leads, 55 of those for the Congress, 30 for the Samajwadi Party, 14 for the Trinamool. The NDA is down 42 seats in seats classified as rural seats. The BJP at 150, the JDU at 7. This is a big story because if you look at the urban pockets, in the urban pockets, the BJP is holding on. 38 leads for the NDA, just down 1 from the last time. India Alliance at 18, up 3 from the last time. The story is being written in rural India. If I come to semi-urban seats, where the population in urban areas is 45 to 55%, it's a dead heat between the India Alliance and the NDA. Rural distress, Rajdeep, will be discussed a lot if this trend holds at the end of counting. It's in rural seats that
we discuss. It's a Thanda election. We
but
kept
we said
talking about
Thanda
it.
kuch nahi hota.
No, but look at this. It seems like, at least if you look at this data, that so many BJP
But Rajat, it
voters
wasn't a Thanda election on ground.
But Rajat,
to be honest, it wasn't
initially,
a Thanda election.
What was it? Tell us, why did you think it was not a Thanda election on the
Number
ground?
one, because 80% of the constituencies that I visited were rural. So there is acute rural distress.
What was
which
the
we
issue?
don't have.
When you say rural distress, what
I
was
have
it?
to say, they were, okay, like at one end, what worked for the BJP was, the fact is if Russian is your biggest calling card, that means there is rural distress.
Well put.
So, number one. Number two, what one thought, Berozgari is a huge problem. People are jobless. They want something more than just that 5 kilos of ration. So it was difficult to call Rajdeep because at one end you heard ration, ration, ration. So one thought that ration is working. But if ration is your pull, then there's a lot that's pulling you back.
I think that's well said. And one of the things, for example, in Maharashtra, a state which has suffered, Shankar, for the last couple of years from drought, you could listen to the farmers and they were angry. The one state where I saw anger was the state of Maharashtra for a variety of reasons. They said, Netyankade khoke ahet. Khoke meaning in Maharashtra had become synonymous with the crores of rupees that they have. Ani amchi sthiti baga. So that inequality question in Maharashtra stood out. So to me, Rahul, that graphic I think is the other story of this election. A sharper.
But there is another trend as well which really needs to be looked at. Now suddenly nobody is finding EVMs to be all gapla. Now EVMs seem perfectly bona fide and legitimate. Because अच्छा हो गया ना कि अब कम से कम absent हो गया. No, but really, because it started with everyone saying EVMs are fixed, the election is fixed, it's all stolen. It's not. Respect the process.
Election Commission increased the vote share by 6%.
Now what's happening?
All the 6% is going to Congress.
Rahul, very quickly, can you tell us the assemblies of Odisha and Andhra? A lot of people want to know, is there any difference in what's happening in Odisha and Andhra in the assembly? Particularly in Odisha, because there in the Lok Sabha it's a sweep for the BJP. Is it also, will BJP form a government in Odisha for the first time? Should we wait for that?
Okay, I want to move now to the assembly data. I'll start with the Andhra Pradesh assembly, 175 seats in Andhra Pradesh. The leads that we have is Telugu Desam at 103, 80 up from the last time. YSRCP getting hammered down to 17. Down 96, the BJP at 4, the Congress blanking out in Andhra Pradesh. This is Andhra Pradesh.
I think the story from Andhra Pradesh is that it's a wave. You never should write off any politician. Chandrababu Naidu has come back and come back with a bang.
Absolutely.
And in Odisha, the BJP is ahead. 50 leads for the BJP, up 37 from the last time. 33 for the BJD, down 39 from the last time. Odisha, the BJP is doing well.
But it could still go to the wire given the fact that you still have about 50 constituencies to count. So, I mean, the advantage with the BJP's good news is coming from the east coast of the country, as we keep reminding. Rahul Verma, you've been saying that for a long time. Peninsular India is changing, right?
I think.
And what is changing there, you think?
I think if we look at this number, what seems to be happening, that BJP has definitely made inroads in the new territories. What is also happening, perhaps they are suffering much more losses in the core areas than they would have anticipated. Across the northwest, Rajasthan, Haryana, UP, they are making big losses. And I think, lots of people who had traveled on the ground were telling the story about why elections might have become tougher in these parts of the country.
So this is a fascinating visualization which in one image captures what's happened so far. If I look at the gains and losses of the BJP is down 1 seat in the east, 53 down in the Hindi heartland, 38 down in the north, 2 down in the south and 23 down in the west.
So Maharashtra and the two biggest states, Rahul, the story is the two biggest states of the country, UP and Maharashtra, is where the BJP is taking their big hit.
The Congress is making a comeback in the Hindi heartland, up 25 seats from the last time. On a low base, but 25 up. In the north, they're up 13. In the south, they're up 13. In the west, they're up 20. In the east, they're up 7. Nalin Kohli now joins us from the Bharatiya Janata Party. The BJP was hoping for 400 par. This doesn't seem to be a 400 par kind of election. At this moment, the BJP is not even close to the majority mark. Mr. Kohli, what are you making of the trend so far?
Rahul, I think that's a fair assessment to say that 400 at the moment certainly looks distant. But I think given your experience and your colleagues on your show and the fact that I've been also 22 years in the party, I think we need to wait for the 6th or the 7th round to have a final picture of the seats. Because in terms of the exit polls speak of a massive sweep. The counting trends currently don't seem to match that. The exit polls are by and large necessarily based on the assumption of the final outcome, not the midway. So I'm prone to say 3 or 4 things. That the BJP NDA will form a government. That trend is very clear from the start. Where this number is going to be, we should know by about 12:31. If it's hotly contested in a few seats, 20, 30, 40 seats,
would you admit,
then those will need to shift till about 2. Yes,
but Nalin, you must accept that in contrast to 2014 and 19, this is not a one-way street. Whatever the final number, it's been more competitive. And therefore, if you end up, let's say, in a worst-case scenario, below 272 on your own, how will you interpret that?
So it's early, Rajdeep, to first conclusively or even take a position in terms of saying that we would be below 272. It's early. Second, in terms of 2014 and 19, I think let's pause for a minute. It is the third election. And I think in a third election, if the BJP NDA is already showing a clear majority, that's highly credible. Because the only time you've had 3 consecutive governments is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. The first also being a sort of a nominated government, but nevertheless, the credit goes to him for being in the first government. So 51, 56, and thereafter again in the 60s. And therefore, if the BJP NDA pulls it off, this is just something that's happened twice in the history of independent India. So it's premature to take a stand that would be negative.
So was 400 par always a bit of a psychological operation? Was it a jumla? What was for 400 par?
Perhaps neither. I'm not qualified to comment on the psychology part of it because by training or profession, being an advocate, I don't need to deal with that aspect unless a case comes to me. Perhaps you may, Rajdeep, because you all deal with body language and make assessments of the entire picture.
I'm looking at your body language.
However,
you're not
that's on a lighter note. On a more serious note, on a more serious note, 1 minute. Oh, Rajdeep, come on, 1 minute, Rajdeep. One minute, Rajdeep, let me finish my point. We are only having a little light banter. On a serious note, I think, look, we are entitled to, as is any party, entitled to say this is our target. And why should we not have a wish list? I don't see anything wrong with that. So, I mean, having a wish list is not a jumla. Having a wish list is something good. But somebody desires to be, say, the top anchor of a channel. It's a wish list. Some of them may reach number 2, some number 3, some may reach the top.
Right. Mr. Kohli, it is too early, one must admit, but if you look at the Hindi heartland, the party which till now touted itself to be the Hindi heartland, you know, the king of the Hindi heartland. Look how you're doing in Uttar Pradesh. Look how you're doing in Rajasthan. Look how you're doing in Haryana.
So, Preeti, let me first make one thing clear. A result is a result. And it has to be accepted, which is a matter of no choice, because that's democracy. So my first political point here is, to the Congress and every other political party was screaming that the EVMs and the electoral process is
Fair point.
bad or flawed or motivated or malafide. They owe an apology to the country. And I'm making that clear on TV, and I will wait to hear if they come out with an apology, because if they are getting the kind of numbers that are there, they certainly owe an apology to the Election Commission, and they owe an apology to not just the Election Commission, but the voters of India and the officers who toil in 45 degrees plus to take those voting machines and stand in booths, along with the agents of all political parties and the people who stand there and vote.
And I
Second,
want to
on
show
your
our
question,
viewers the direct
which
fight
is,
calculator.
in
What
terms-
this means really is seats where the fight is directly between two parties. The story of this election is that the Congress is putting up a better fight in a direct head-on contest with the BJP. At this second, there are 170 seats where the fight is BJP versus Congress. In the last election, the BJP had won 90% plus such seats. At this moment, the BJP is winning only 68% of the seats where it's direct BJP versus Congress. The Congress is winning 3 out of 10 seats where it's BJP versus Congress. This is what needed to happen for this to be an exciting election. The Congress is leading on 55 seats where the battle is directly BJP versus Congress. Nalin Kohli, would you concede that maybe the Congress wasn't given its due, wasn't treated the way it should have been, because in this battle, they're putting up a far better fight than anyone in the BJP would have imagined?
Well, look, one thing, Rahul, and you will grant this to the BJP. I think the BJP is a party that never sits down, whether in defeat or in victory. We assess it down to the last mile. And we study it and look at why and how we have done well. We study and look at it how we have done badly wherever we've done badly. And that's been the story for the BJP to become what it is today as the dominant political party and the party that has been in government for the last 10 years on a clear majority. Number one. Number two, there is an experiment, and let's look at it as political analysts for a minute, not in a partisan way. There is an experiment that we need to look at how it has worked, which is, let's say, Karnataka, where the BJP in the assembly lost marginally its percentage of vote, less than 1%. But then the other side, the numbers stacked up against the BJP and they got a clear sweep in the assembly. Now, that model having been seen, it raises a question which, Rajdeep, you've also used that word several times in our debates, is that, and ultimately, an election is a mathematics as also a chemistry. So now this fine challenge between the mathematics of a number that you build up in a pre-poll or a post-pre-poll alliance primarily versus the chemistry with the voter and how this alliance of numbers is translating in terms of a vote share onto the ground is a post-poll factor. You can only analyze it afterwards. Now, my reading at the moment, and I'm sticking my neck out to say so, is there won't be a national trend for you to have a figure like this to say that the numbers stacked up well but you lost there, or the numbers did not stack up well and you won. I think it will be a state-by-state thing, which is what I think is the strength of Indian democracy.
I take your point, Nalin. In fact, the real story of this election is how it is turning to be state by state. I think, Rahul, since the last 15 years, we've been so used to landslide victories, we forgot there used to be an age where India used to fight elections state by state. So if you go state by state, you look at a Haryana, for example, it is showing very different trends where the Congress is leading in 7, NDA in 3 in a state which was 10-0 last time. And then you travel to a Madhya Pradesh where, Rahul, you have the BJP still holding its own. The BJP is leading in 29-0 in India. Think about it, 29-0. Then, very interestingly, Rahul, just the neighboring Rajasthan to Madhya Pradesh, where again there were elections just 6 months ago. Take a look at Rajasthan. And in Rajasthan, 13-11, 13 to NDA, India 11, tight fight. Congress has to ask itself, the Congress has lost out in a Madhya Pradesh and a Gujarat. Gujarat, inevitably, Prime Minister's home state, Home Minister's home state. But in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, if you can fight back in
Rajdeep,
Rajasthan,
if these are the
you
numbers,
gave up in Madhya Pradesh.
If these are the numbers, then the Congress could have done much better. It came to the party too late. If, despite of the opposition, these are the numbers that the opposition is getting, then they could have done better.
I want to show
now
Nalin
that is a
Kohli.
tough
No,
one
they
to
could have
say.
done better.
I want to show Nalin Kohli the level of anti-incumbency. Now, this comes out. Remember, all the insights that you're seeing on India today are backed by data, hardcore thorough. This is not just random opinion, pontification and punditry, hardcore data. At this moment, of the 303 seats that the BJP had won last time, the BJP is retaining only 68%. They're losing 32% of the seats that they held. Nalin Kohli, this would raise questions about the level of anti-incumbency. You're winning only 7 of the 10 seats you held in the last election, reflecting the level of anti-incumbency against your MPs and against the party on these seats.
So I think, Rahul, 3 comments here. The first being that our strike rate, and this is something, if I recall, I picked it up perhaps from your channel or it's perhaps on another channel, is that it's interesting to see the strike rate of the BJP through 2014 and 19. The strike rate was 60 to 65%. The number of seats we contested, 60 to 65%. So when you tell me 68% of the existing 303 seats we are losing, I actually disagree. It's in the zone of the strike rate of the BJP, because ultimately the strike rate is how much is your convertibility with the old candidate or with the new candidate in terms of the winnability of the seat. So the strike rate of the 60 to 70% seems to be holding on. The second figure was...
Sir, can I just... can I give... Because we have the specific for the strike rate as well. Nalin Kohli, bear with me. Sir, bear with me for a minute.
Sure.
I'll show you the strike rate. This is the NDA strike rate. The NDA strike rate at this moment is only 54. The India Alliance strike rate is 41. The NDA is leading on 291 of 543. Your strike rate in comparison to past elections is substantially down.
So, Rahul, I think how I would go is there are 2 separate strike rates that we need to consider at the end of the election, which means later in the day or tomorrow. The first is the BJP versus the Congress strike rates. Because the Congress current strike rate is, if I recall, less than 10%. It's about 6 to 7%. The BJP's strike rate is about 60 to 65 or 68%. 60 to 70%, plus or minus 2%, 3%. The second is NDA versus the India Alliance, or the India Alliance as I call it. The India Alliance or NDA Alliance strike rate has to be seen separately. Mixing both will give an incorrect analysis.
I want to go phase by phase. For the first time, let's break this election into 7 phases, take you through how the parties and the formations have done. In phase 1, the India Alliance is leading on 59, the NDA only on 36. So India Alliance got off to a smashing start in phase 1, up 11 seats. Let's now go to phase 2. I'm putting out the phase-wise analysis for the first time in phase 2. The NDA took the lead, 49 leads, but 12 down from the last time. India Alliance in phase 2 at 38, up 15. Let's now come to phase 3. In phase 3, let's take a look at phase 3. 64 leads for the NDA, down 13 from the last time. 27 for the India Alliance, up 15 from the last time. Let's now come to phase 4. So NDA in the seats that we've seen across the phases losing ground. In phase 4, they started doing well. NDA 59, up 11 in phase 4. India Alliance 30, up 18. So phase 4 was the first phase where the NDA actually gained momentum. Let's look at phase 5. In phase 5, the NDA was at 30, down 8 from the last time. India Alliance at 15, up 7 from the last time. Let's now come to phase 6. I want to show you what happened in the penultimate phase. In phase 6, there were 58 seats. NDA at 32, down 12. India Alliance at 25, up 20. Let's now come to the last phase. Phase 7. Phase 7, the one that happened on the 1st of June, 57 seats there. India Alliance at 30, up 11. 22 for the NDA, down 8. Rajdeep, what that suggests is, except for one phase, which was phase 4, the NDA seems to have lost ground in every phase in this election.
And what it showed is what a number of us had sensed or had said after the first 2 rounds, that after that low voter turnout, that the NDA obviously got nervous. If you see, there was a feeling that they changed the narrative. You went into politics which was seen to be more polarized. Every time you asked them, they said, no, this is strategy. I think those first 2 rounds where turnout actually went against them, and a 7-phase poll. It's a strange thing. The longer the election went, it actually gave the opposition that came late to the party a chance to set the narrative.
True.
And the BJP was forced to respond. So you're actually seeing a fascinating election being, many thought a 7-phase election will fatigue out the opposition. What it actually did possibly is the reverse. It gave the opposition something to build on after the first 2 rounds. Yes, Shankar.
So it shows 2 things. That the Prime Minister and Amit Shah read the ground much better than anybody else when they changed the language and the rhetoric in the campaign in the next phases. The other thing that it shows is that they ended up responding to the narrative that was being set by the opposition instead of leading the narrative which was there till the beginning of the election. And that, I think, has sort of gathered momentum over the next few phases. Now, when you look at the numbers just now, it doesn't look anywhere near 400. It doesn't look anywhere...
No, 400 is, I think we should forget, 400 is over. Now it's a question, can I go 300 par?
Even the let's settle for 370 or let's settle for 350 looks like dicey.
No, because I think the other number which is going to become crucial now is 272.
Absolutely.
Because you see the BJP getting, Rajat, if the BJP doesn't get, by some chance, we don't know still the final number, doesn't get 272, does it change any of the equations? Does it make, for example, a Chandrababu Naidu a potential kingmaker to decide, look, I'll support you, but I have 1 or 2, 3 conditions? Does it weaken the Prime Minister's position?
So I think now every alliance partner would want to extract their pound of flesh, which they had been waiting for past decade or so, if the results hold. Also, if BJP gets lesser than 272, then even Prime Minister's reform agenda will see lesser elbow room.
You're going too far. Rajdeep, in the classical political science, in Westminster, model of parliamentary democracy, if an incumbent government, a single party, single majority government fails to get a clear majority, then the incumbent doesn't become a prime minister.
That's come on, where? The fact is they've gone in a pre-poll alliance. They've gone here in a pre-poll alliance under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi.
There was single party majority.
No, it may.
Twice.
No. On moral grounds, you may well say you don't have the same moral
politics
power.
Is all about,
but
politics
the fact
is all about ethics and morality.
No. The fact is, legally, I've gone in a pre-poll alliance.
Look at Rajiv Gandhi in 1989.
Come on.
Look at Rajiv Gandhi in 89. 193 seats. He sat in a position.
There's a difference between 193 and if I end up with 250. If I end up with 250 in a pre-poll alliance and my allies have 30-40,
I'm not talking about NDA not forming the government. I'm talking about Office of Prime Minister.
Why? How does that change? The election was fought under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi.
Mr. Kohli, if the BJP doesn't get 272, the question in the studio is, does it then at some level undermine the halo of the Prime Minister? If it had been 340, 350, 320, it would have been different. If it's not 272, does that then mean it's a weaker government than it would have been? Let Narendra Kohli respond to that.
So Rahul, thank you for that, letting me in at the moment. I heard the entire discussion. Very nice to see some of my colleagues. Shankar, nice to see you on TV after a long time. We are on the panel after a very long time. I just wanted to respond to Rashid Bhai. So Rashid Bhai, I'm a student of history and you also write biographies and follow the Congress party as a sort of keeping a history of it. I find your selective approach to this discussion which you just put interesting, and I'm now going to wear my history hat. I think you would do well to perhaps go back to the K.R. Narayanan formula, which talked of the pre-poll alliance being the way in which the government will be invited to this. The post-poll versus pre-poll was the K.R. Narayanan formula, which came in at that time, ostensibly to keep the BJP out. But then, therefore, you can't go to the 1989 Rajiv Gandhi formula, which is far before that. So what is the dominant thing today in Indian politics for the longest period now is who is a pre-poll alliance, and I'm sorry to put it as bluntly as this, there is only one pre-poll alliance in the country, that is the BJP NDA. On the other side, there is the concept of an alliance which does not exist as a national alliance. They are leaders meeting over a cup of tea as they are entitled to, enjoying samosas as they are entitled to, fighting against each other which they are entitled to in state after state. So there is only one pre-poll alliance, and therefore the NDA will be in any circumstance the one to stake that claim. There is no question of the NDA, BJP not staking the claim.
You know, if you look at the party-wise vote share, there's a very interesting trend there. The BJP's vote share has, in fact, gone up in the votes that have been counted so far from 37 to 40.7. That's almost a 4% increase in vote share. That's very substantial. The Congress's vote share also, which had crashed to 19, is at 27% from the votes that have been counted. Both these are substantial. What this shows is that it's becoming more bipolar with the Congress and the BJP being in contest at the national level. That's one of the trends that are emerging. The Congress's vote share up at least 7%, maybe even 8% by the end of it. The BJP's vote share also up 4%. But there were lots of people who are messaging and saying, we were planning to go to office this morning. Now it's so exciting. We're staying back and watching the election results on India Today intelligence dashboard. It's making it really exciting. At this moment, now the seats have come down. Seats where the margin is less than 1,000. There are only 62 seats at this moment. 35 of those leads are for the NDA. 22 of those leads are for the India Alliance, 30 are BJP seats. Only 62 seats now where the margin is less than 1,000. If I look at the seats where the margin is less than 5,000, there are 158 seats where the gap between the winner and the runner-up, the leading party and the runner-up, is less than 5,000 votes. The NDA has 76 such leads, down 18 from the last time, 71 where the India Alliance is leading, up 35. Now, if I switch to the other end of the margin calculator, look at where the seats seem to be clearly established in one way or the other. 35 seats where the margin is more than 1 lakh at this second. 30 of those are for the NDA, 4 for the India Alliance. So most of the seats where the margin is more than 1 lakh, the BJP is running away with those. Let's look at seats where the margin is more than 50,000. 94 such seats at the moment. The NDA is at 69 of those. 20 are for the India Alliance. So basically, the battle now is on seats where the margin is less than 10,000. And the interesting thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that almost half the seats in the Lok Sabha, 239 of them, are seats where the margin is less than 10,000 votes at this moment. The India Alliance leading on 118 of them, up 59 from last time. The NDA leading on 108, down 36. So this is going to be a long, long, long afternoon.
Therefore, let me intrigue, Shankar, just, and please follow up. The intriguing prospect is, the NDA could well cross 300 comfortably, and Rajat's smile will get even broader, or we'll have a long evening, because that 290 goes below 272. It's one thing for the BJP to go below 272, they still form a government comfortably. If the NDA by some chance goes below 272, then all options open up.
Rajdeep, 272 to bahut dur hai. BJP at this moment is leading only on 237. At this moment, the BJP leading only on 237. I know, but I'm saying far from BJP at 237 is very different from a BJP 272.
I have said below 240, below 240. So a BJP below 240 and Chandrababu Naidu with 22. Mr. Naidu calls the shots.
No, so here's the thing. Rashid, 1 minute. The Westminster theory was disproved by David Cameron when he shook hands with David Miliband. So whether Naidu will be the new Miliband in the formation.
In fact, every time,
but you know what?
every time he'll be like, forget Andhra, make me the deputy prime minister.
Rajdeep, if you look at the Maharashtra numbers, you have said Congress has been the Kamzor Kadi. Congress is doing phenomenally well in Maharashtra.
How much are they getting?
Leading on 10.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're leading out of 10 out of 17. That's fascinating.
Yes, that's fascinating.
That is a bit of a turnaround, Rahul, because imagine there are 17 seats Congress is contesting in Maharashtra. Most of them were against the BJP. If the Congress leads 10 out of 17 in Maharashtra, it's a sign of the times of what is happening overall.
My professor at IIM Ahmedabad, who taught me finance, just messaged to say he's late for class because he's watching India Today TV at this moment. So all classes, offices currently at this moment on standstill waiting for these results. BJP at 237. The Congress by its standards is crossing 100. That's a very important mark if they cross 100.
I've said this before, Rahul, on the show today. If the Congress crosses 100 or touches 100, BJP will find it difficult to touch the magical mark on its own of 272. But look at what is happening. It's not just that. Look at some of the allies of the
Samajwadi Party at 34.
34, remarkable. TMC 24, DMK 21. Sena UBT contesting 23 seats, winning in 10. Sharad Pawar having the day of his life at the age of 83. Out of 10 seats, he's winning 8. That's 80%.
And the Eknath Sene...
Aam Aadmi Party now leading in 4. All 3 of them are in Punjab, 1 in Haryana. the CPM leading in 5, mainly of course in Kerala, RJD in 4. So RJD not doing so well. In the Bihar leg compared, and you can contrast UP and Bihar. Look at this story. In UP, Samajwadi Party and the PDA alliance, the Pichhda, Dalit, Alpsankyak doing very well. But the BAP, on the other hand, of Tejasvi is not doing well.
When we interviewed Akhilesh Yadav, we said, "Bheed to pata bahut aati hai na." How much it translates into seats, we don't know. At this moment, the story is coming from Uttar Pradesh,
Absolutely.
Rajdeep, where Samajwadi Party is putting on a hell of a performance, given the fact that they were written out in the last election.
It's amazing.
In the assembly also they were written out. 35 leads for the Samajwadi Party, 7 for the Congress,
Also,
42 up 36. Preeti wants to come in.
Please.
I think what worked very well for the Congress Samajwadi Party alliance was for the first time you saw the Samajwadi Party cadre completely support the Congress on all seats. You could see that visibly. And I think the story will be Akhilesh in this election in UP, Rajdeep, just sheer candidate selection.
But look at
He's
how
got
these
that
country.
right.
But what I'm unable to understand, Rajat Shankar, is the country. And maybe Rahul Verma, who knows the Hindi heartland, will tell us. UP, PDA is working. BAP, which was the idea of Tejasvi Yadav to expand his father's Muslim Yadav base, is not working. 2 states neighboring each other. Take a look across this country. Gujarat, dominant by the BJP, come to Maharashtra, and the BJP is finding it difficult to do what they did in 2019.
Why SP worked is because their campaign was much more credible than that of Tejasvi. Akhilesh did not go out on a limb and promise things.
That's one view. Yes, Rahul Verma, and then Rashid. Yes.
I think what's happening across the core areas of BJP, if barring the Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, I think BJP is taking a substantial hit across. Even if now the tally improves, I think
Bihar, explain to me why in Bihar they are not doing as well, the RJD as well as the SP in neighboring UP.
at this moment, it's hard to come up with an explanation.
Yeah.
Maybe in UP, BJP did not replace as many candidates as it did in other parts of the country.
So I have a view of it. I believe the BJP had a wider base in Bihar. They got Chirag Paswan, got Upendra Kushwaha, built a wider alliance. UP, they said, chalo, apne aap chalte hain. Jo candidate hai, Arun Govil ko de do. We'll give anyone the candidate. Modi, Yogi ke naam pe.
Just see,
Rajat and then Rashid.
I think what was happening is that the Rajbar, his flip-flops, even the Patel Apna Dal, all of the Nishad party, all of these had like these community leaders whose credibility over a period of a decade had gone away.
But what does it say about Yogi Modi, the double engine?
I know, and this is where...
What does it say about the double engine?
This is where Yogi also centralized power, and a lot of the other OBC leaders around Yogi also felt
That's a good point. Yes, Rashid.
So that is where it comes in. Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, he deserves a lot of credit because he shed all this, over-dependence on that MY factor. He went out of the way to accommodate a lot of non-Yadav OBCs like Pal and...
You're right. What Akhilesh... No, I'll tell you what Akhilesh Yadav did. Think about it. Here is the MY party. Less than 10 seats are to Yadavs and Muslims. He actually gave representation.
He changed the president of UP state in the middle of the
So
election.
he gave excellent candidates. I want to ask you, Sudhir, because this man could turn out to be the potential
15 leads for the
15
TDP,
leads for
3
the
for the BJP, 2 for the Janata.
So he is the largest ally at the moment of the NDA. And when I look at the overall numbers at 289 minus his 15, and I'm virtually at the halfway point for the NDA.
Yeah.
What will Chandrababu Naidu do?
So it means that more than 20 saal baad, the clock has turned back for Chandrababu Naidu. He will once again be kingmaker. Now the question is, we know it for a fact that the BJP leadership made it very difficult for Chandrababu Naidu to once again be part of NDA. Will he say, forgive and forget everything and say that, okay, I will still support Modi for Prime Minister, or will he make his
What
demands?
will he do? I want to know. What's your sense?
He could be...
Will he keep all options open?
He will keep all options
No, he
open.
can't switch.
But I don't think he will go back to the Congress because he made that mistake in 2018-19. I don't think he would do that. But I think he will have a say in who will become the Prime Minister. We are talking about...
One minute. We are saying he will have a say in who becomes the Prime Minister.
If the BJP does not hit the 272 mark, he will definitely have a say because it's going to be an NDA government.
No, are you telling me that Chandrababu Naidu, if these are the numbers and he is in a position to dictate, he will dictate who should be the Prime Minister?
He will definitely have a say. If I will not use the word dictate, he will have a say in who will be the Prime Minister.
Rajdeep,
interesting.
It will be decided by the candidate who gives special status to Andhra Pradesh.
That,
He could,
that's,
That's
that's also a point.
I've just got a message, but it's true. You know, with all the pollsters, but it's a time to remember what Yogendra Yadav said.
Yes.
It's holding true.
He's the one who's
Yogendra has promised that he's going to come. Yogendra Yadav had said
What
he
he
would
said
cross
is holding
272.
What we are most delighted about is that this is where we're getting requests from, I can't even name them, but the senior most leaders in this country cutting across party line ki election intelligence dashboard pe ye chala ke dikhao, wo dikhao, because nobody else, most political parties cannot do this kind of live processing at this moment because they haven't set it up for that. Of course they can, but they haven't set it up. The only people who have is the India Today group with this election intelligence dashboard.
So while you do that, I'm going to ask for one small request for VVIPs.
Absolutely.
Right? I have a number of VVIPs who are sending me messages and I said, I'm going to ask Rahul to go back. Can we do a farmaish?
No, wait, Rajdeep.
Oh, I'm going to do national, sorry. National, if I do, and I have my VVIPs now, can we go to Maua Moitra? She wants to know where she stands at the moment. Why are you not showing whether I'm winning
She fought a spirited election, Rajdeep,
Okay,
I have
so
to say.
if we go to Maua Moitra at the moment.
Fast. Here you go. So Maua Mitro is in our data trailing.
She claimed she was leading. Manish Tiwari, interestingly, is leading in Chandigarh in a tough fight. Manohar Lal Khattar, one of the few BJP
potential
leaders.
BJP president, if that's one of the things that was discussed over the weekend.
He's leading. Menaka Gandhi, you mentioned the trivia point that longest serving MP at the moment in the current Lok Sabha is trailing at the moment. That's why in UP they're taking the heat. This is interesting. Murshidabad, Mohammad Salim left is making a bit of a comeback. One of the reasons Mamta Banerjee is actually surviving the BJP onslaught, is my sense, is the anti-Mamta vote. The left is taking a sizable chunk, unlike in 2019. We'll have to see how that plays. Manikam Tagore is an interesting one. Virudnagar, there, Congress, Tamil Nadu is trailing. Tamil Nadu, it's not a sweep anymore. Mehbooba Mufti is trailing in Anantnag, Rajouri. Is there any other interesting thing with an M? Misa Bharti, that's an interesting one. Patliputra. She's
up against Ram Kirpal Yadav.
Can I see his, whether his sister...
Absolutely. No, Ram Kirpal Yadav is trailing Misa Bharti, has a reasonable lead of about 7,000 votes. She's lost twice over.
That's right.
You know, Ram Kirpal Yadav used to be the right-hand man of Lalu Yadav, now fighting on a BJP
What about
ticket.
Lalu's other daughter, Rohini, if we can have a look?
Just 1 second. We can go to Saran, used to be the seat of Chhapra. If we go to...
R, will she be under R?
Saran mein hoga na?
No, you've got, okay, Shatrughan Sinha, meanwhile, if you stick with, okay, Rohini Acharya is trailing.
In Saran.
Rohini Acharya is trailing, so Rajiv Pratap Rudy is leading.
Of the votes that we have, in the dashboard that we have, 7,620, trailing against Rajiv Pratap Rudy, 7,970. This is a very tight fight.
But these are very low votes. That means, some of the...
Just initial, it's coming in, Rajdeep.
So large parts of the country, from what I can see, there is still a lot of counting to do.
Correct. In Gorakhpur, Ravi Kishan, Ravindra Shukla is leading. Rahul Gandhi leading in Raebareli, Rahul Gandhi leading in Wayanad. Let's compare the two RG seats. In Wayanad, he has a bigger lead against Annie Raja and K. Surendran. 1,95,624.
So he's over a lakh. So he's almost
Kerala
through.
counting faster. Okay, so that's Wayanad. Let's now come to Raebareli and see how Rahul Gandhi is doing in Raebareli. He's got 1,01,481 votes, almost twice that of Dinesh Pratap.
So he's probably winning both. Can we look at Amethi for a moment and Smriti Irani, because that's again a very prestigious battle that is being fought there. Smriti Irani in Amethi, there you've got that. Unless you put her under an I, but maybe there are more that you've got in the S category. Let's see.
There she is.
She's trailing. She's trailing at the moment.
59,141, 149 versus Kishori Lal. So if Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is watching,
it's still tight.
82. No, but it's a pretty big.
It's 23,000. It's a lead of 23,000 at the moment. But this is a real turnaround. Think about it. Everybody wrote off Kishori Lal at the start of this election. He's giving her a hell of a fight.
No, he's winning right now.
He's winning at the... Yes, that's right. So... just to go back into some of the other S's that we have, if there are any interesting...
Sushil Gupta against Naveen Jindal in Kurukshetra currently leading. Supriya Sule leading in Baramati. This was the most high prestige battle of all. Most ego, most prestige. 40,398 versus 31,947.
So
against
Maharashtra counting slowly. Think about it. That's why I think we need to keep...
Correct.
When you add this, it's less than a lakh. This is a constituency with a 20 lakh voter turnout. So a lot could change. These numbers of 290 to 232 could go either way. Either the BJP pulls ahead and shows our exit polls right to 330, or the BJP goes down further to 270, or the NDA goes down. So both options are open at the moment.
The party's trend, NCP's trend, Sharad Pawar NCP, seems to be like doing better than ever before, and it will no longer be called the Tum Tum Party.
But Tumala Sang, you are from Mumbai, you've known Sharad Pawar as long as I have. Kaka काय म्हणणार आज 83 वर्षाचे झाले आणि 9 जिंकतात आहे. What is 9 out of 10 is winning at the moment.
So, and for 30-40 years, he was called a ढाई जिले का नेता.
नहीं, अभी भी वेस्टर्न महाराष्ट्र में ही है.
But he spread. He went all the way to Wardha also.
To campaign, yes,
not
you're right.
Even contest Wardha seat was not taken.
Absolutely, you're right.
So
And he's winning in Bhiwandi also.
Yes, Bhiwandi also.
He will simply say, आम्ही कधीही कुठलंही निवडणूक हारलेलं नाही.
नहीं, मला हे सांग, will he, if these numbers hold, will he ring up in the night and tell Chandrababu, अरे आम्ही जुने मित्र आहोत, काय करायचंय?
अभी तो सारे मित्र हैं.
हम तो सब मित्र हैं.
Anything is on play. If BJP drops below 272, all
Anything is
bets
possible.
are
So in
off.
fact, you should
You're
look
saying
at
all bets are off if BJP
Yes,
drops,
you
or
should-
if BJP drops below
Rajdeep, you
250.
should look at the alliance partners of BJP and see the vulnerabilities.
No, can I ask you this, Shankar? You said something. You believe all bets are off if BJP drops below 272. My
250.
bets is if the BJP drops below 250, all bets are off. Because then the allies will really extract their
Okay,
part
so
of
the
life.
BJP right
here
now.
are the BJP's gains and losses. BJP is down 5 seats in the east, 57 seats in the Hindi heartland, 41 seats down in the north, 1 seat up in the south, 23 seats down in the west. I can also look at votes. The power of the election intelligence dashboard is quite phenomenal. 2% vote share increase in the east, 1% down in the north. So in terms of votes, the BJP has actually increased its vote share by almost 4%. It's not translating into seats. That's where the BJP's problems lie at this moment. If I look at the Congress's swings in terms of seat share, the Congress is 6 seats up in the east, 25 seats up in the Hindi heartland, 14 seats up in the north, 10 seats up in the south, and 18 seats up in the west. They haven't had much to celebrate about. Finally, Rahul Verma, the Congress will say, forget Congress, Mukt Bharat, Congress abhi zinda hai.
And just to clarify, Mahua Moitra sent a message, Rahul, and you are saying I'm losing, I'm leading by 38,409. We don't want to get on the wrong side of Mahua Moitra,
I don't want to get on anybody's wrong side. I just want to explain the process. Remember, these are all automated graphics. A lot of people are just cooking up figures and making this up. This is powered through an analytic process. It gets fed into our data engines. That's how it comes powered. So if you're actually a candidate sitting at a counting center, for example, you'll have more updated figures. It takes a bit of time for the numbers from that counting center to come to the Election Commission, to come to DataNet, who are our data providers, and then for it to get powered into the Election Intelligence Dashboard. So if you're sitting on a counting center, you know a little bit more than we do, but as it gets updated and as the hours go on, it will get updated really fast because the time lag reduces. So just bear with us as we explain that. One of the things which is very interesting to look at is routes to power. Where does the BJP sit at this moment? 236. 272 is the majority mark. The BJP only at 36. The Congress has slipped slightly lower than a century, currently at 99. The Congress has stronger allies, it seems. Samajwadi Party at 35. Trinamool Congress at 25. DMK at 22. The Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena at 10. Sharad Pawar's faction at 8. The BJP's allies are weaker. JDU only 15, TDP 15, Sena 7, Lok Janshakti Party 5, Janata Dal Secular 3, RLD 2, Jan Sena 2, Hindustan Awami Morcha 1, AGP 1, NCP. Ajit Pawar, Rajdeep, your friend, Ajit Pawar is not being able to hold his own. They fought
four.
and they're only
was
leading
for
1.
money.
So 5 and 1.
Yeah.
So the other interesting thing there, Rahul, is that the Congress allies, many of them are in double digits.
Yes, that's-
and the BJP's allies are not.
So this also saying that had the India alliance worked properly, they would have been staring at numbers. Where would they have been
we
forming
don't
the
know
government?
about, Rajat, that could be true. But what I'm saying is that there is a message there. You break a party. The sympathy tends to go with the person who is seen to have been unfairly dealt with. Somehow or the other,
David Goliath sentiment kicks in very
you've
well.
got 83-year-old Sharad Pawar who's been betrayed in a way by his nephew, who was still using posters of Sharad Pawar in the Supreme Court had to intervene. And you had Uddhav Thackeray, son of Balasaheb Thackeray, who it was felt was betrayed by Eknath Shinde. What is the voter of Maharashtra saying? Our sympathy is with the original patron in a way.
Not only that, Rajdeep, you might break a party, you might take the MLAs, you might take the MPs, but the cadre has stayed with both the originals.
Yeah, the fact is, Rahul, Maharashtra is showing just what competitive elections can do. This has
And
gone seat by
it
seat.
also shows that there is a limit of so much amount of maneuvers that you can do in a political things without.
अब आपको समझ में आ रहा है तब से तो बोल रहे थे 400 पार 400
मैं
पार
अभी भी बोल रहा हूँ numbers will still improve. Lot of tight contests if the BJP holds its vote shares, which is still
No, they've
saying
increased their vote share. That's the irony.
so
BJP has
40-41%.
increased its vote share. I'll show that to you. If you see the breakup of the vote share in the pan-India picture, this is where the power of the election intelligence dashboard really comes into play, which is why I'm so excited. We remember I have very little skin in the game. Jo bhi jeetega gali padni, but that doesn't matter. At this moment, the BJP at 40.7% of all the votes that have been counted, up 4% from the last time. The Congress is at 27.4.
That's
almost, no,
8%.
8%, 19 to 20, that's 8% up. So that just shows that the Congress has done remarkably well relative to how their vote share had crashed in the last two elections.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yes.
please, Rahul.
I think what seems to be happening at this stage of time, while BJP has either retained its vote share or improved, but BJP allies are doing really, really badly. And that must be pulling down the NDA in many of the seats, whereas Congress and its allies are doing together very, very well, which is pulling up their seats.
If I look now at the caste cauldron and just bear with me for a moment as I explain what I'm about to show you. We looked at seats which are dominated by certain communities and castes. So whichever is the dominant community on that seat then gets, it doesn't mean it's a reserved seat, okay? It means that the community dominates. Now, there's a big story playing out here. That whole constitution badalna hai, badlega, nahi badlega. The NDA at this moment is down 38 seats on seats where the Dalit community holds a significant sway on that particular Lok Sabha seat. This is an important and interesting finding. You won't find this anywhere else. Only the election intelligence dashboard can pull this out for you in real time. There'll be reams of post-mortem later on the seats classified as Dalit dominated seats, not just reserved seats, Dalit dominated seats, 38 losses for the NDA. On Muslim-dominated seats, 7 losses. Last time they'd won because of fragmentation. Now the Muslim vote seems to be consolidating in favor of whoever is capable of beating the NDA. On OBC-dominated seats, 8 down. On tribal seats, 4 down. On general category seats, 16 down. If I do the same caste scanner for India Alliance, on Dalit-dominated seats, that's where the big gains are coming from. 56 up from the last time on Dalit-dominated seats. 32 up on general category seats, 12 up on Muslim. So there are two trends, Rajdeep, which you can see. One, Muslim votes which had fragmented in the last election, now consolidating against whoever can beat the NDA. And on Dalit-dominated seats, that whole Samvidhan agitation did play a role.
I just want to get in Preeti. Just a minute. I want to get in Preeti at the moment because to be fair to her, I remember her coming back from Western UP and saying the Dalit vote in particular seems to be moving. You went to Chandrasekhar's constituency, for example. You seem to suggest that the Samvidhan khatre mein hai, and I can tell you Congress put out 8 crore cards that they sent out to people saying Samvidhan khatre mein. But tell us what you saw on the ground. Are you surprised by these results in the Dalit areas?
I'm not surprised by these results. And if you saw during the narrative of the campaign, Rajdeep, you heard the Prime Minister come out and the entire BJP strongly come out and say Samvidhan khatre mein nahi hai. How did that happen? Because in the just in the first 2 phases of election, when you went down, what the opposition did is they latched on to it. They went those nukkad sabhas that they used to do, the Samajwadi Party.
And was it based on this 400?
It came from that. It came from that, and the fact that the likes of Arun Govil, the likes of Jyoti Mirda from the BJP saying Samvidhan badal denge didn't help. So they used that. They took it to the bastis where the Dalits there or the Jatavs, non-Jatavs, they didn't know anything. All they heard was Arakshan khatam ho jayega. Those Nukkad Sabha told them, Arakshan khatam ho jayega. So there was fear-mongering, but it resulted in see what we see
so
on
Rahul,
the screen now.
If you go back to that graphic...
अब मैं charge करना start कर दूंगा. Whoever makes a farmaish, I'll charge by the end of it. I could potentially be a billionaire because the India Today election intelligence dashboard is rocking it. Yes. We're getting requests from where have you on social media, messages, people saying, ye dikhao, wo dikhao.
One sobering thought. The NDA is still, Shankar, almost 70 ahead of the India Alliance. So that's a fairly substantial difference between the two.
But within
that's why it's not 2004. Let's not say this is 2004.
No, so two things.
Just a minute, and then Rajat.
Two things. One, the previous slide that Rahul had in his startup entrepreneurship.